Let's look at some of the trickier questions we have this week. Question number 6. It asks, without using the words in this quote, explain how the language used makes the writer perceive his partner in this way. And it says, support your ideas with two details from paragraph 1. Take note of what clumsy means, mixed, overly intellectual geek. You have to ask yourself, what is a geek? And what does it mean by being an overly intellectual geek? The answer will be clear if we do that. Next, we have question 7. What is unusual about Dave's behavior? You would know this by now, how to do unusual questions. Remember, there are two parts, usual and unusual. I would expect to see both before you get your 1 mark. Next, we have question 8. Uses the simile as sterile as an operating table. What does this simile suggest about his view of the steel tabletop? Giveaway mark. You just have to ask yourself the meaning of sterile, and you will get the answer for this. Next, we have this question about irony. If you need more explanations about irony, you have to refer to the videos in my YouTube channel, find out what it means. Try to refresh your memory. Just a quick recap though. Generally, the easiest way to answer is something, yet something. You could also use this. It is expected that, and then, however, the reality is that. Next question is again about simile. Smelled like a farmyard. Obviously, you must think of all kinds of characteristics about a farmyard. A farmyard is not an orchard. A farmyard is a place where we keep all kinds of animals. Next, we have question 10b. How is the writer's approach different from his partner's? Different, again, means that you have to give me two sides. Something that contrasts with something else. Next, we have question 11. The purpose of the writer in using phrases like 5-star and with cream on top. Normally, when we use phrases like such colorful phrases, it is to, again, to emphasize a point. Notice as well that 5 stars refers to, the phrase with cream on top both refers to some form, some description of excellence. Think about this when you try to find the answer. Question 13. Why do you think Dave smiled to himself adoringly? Why do you think questions are suggest questions? It's the same as suggesting an answer. You have to try and infer from the passage. Look at the context of the paragraph. Look at the story again. Think about yourself. Think to yourself, why would Dave smile to himself? Last question for text 2. In what way is the scene here similar to a crime scene investigation? I hope, of course, that you have watched an episode or two of CSI. Basically, they investigate crime scenes and they use all kinds of scientific technology, scientific methods, and all kinds of technological tools to find clues that leads to the criminal. We're on to text 3 now. Question 16. What does the expression raised hackles suggest about the way the public responded? Raising hackles is actually a very common expression. All I can say is it has to do with how the fur at the back of an animal's neck will rise up in response to some external stimuli, like a cat's, for example. Think about that first before you try this question. Question 18. What does the word spree suggest about the way they play the games? You have to know the meaning of spree before you can get your 1 mark. Question 19. Why do you think South Korea needs to be at the forefront? Again, it's going to be a why do you think question. So I want you to infer from the passage why they need to take the lead when it comes to finding a cure for gaming addiction. Question 20. Write down 2 reasons why the word quest is an appropriate word to use. You must know the meaning of quest. If you don't, you have to ask me in class before you can do this question. We have reached the summary. Let's look at the question together. Summarize the ways in which South Korea and China have attempted to address the problem of computer game addiction. The ways, again remember, means methods, manner, or ways. We are concerned about paragraphs 2 to 5, so box it up. Write the questions by the side of the page. Find at least 8 to 9 points. We will rephrase the points in class.